Hello, and thank you for joining our Food Distribution Program webinar on how to complete an allocation order. This is the fifth and final webinar of our FDP training series for the current school year. My name is Marina Soto, Direct Ship and Private Co-op Coordinator with the California Department of Education, FDP, and I will be joined today by Desiree Lee, U.S. Department of Agriculture Foods Ordering Coordinator, also with the FDP. The purpose of this webinar is to give our agencies a better understanding of how to complete an allocation order in the Child Nutrition Information and Payment System. We would like to emphasize that this webinar is intended primarily for allocation agencies and state co-op members. However, it can provide some clarity for any participant of the FDP. During this webinar, we will give you a brief overview of entitlement and then provide a demonstration of placing an allocation order, extracting USDA foods from extended storage, and requesting additional units. We will also discuss delivery restrictions, how to modify an order, and how to place a surplus order in the CNIPS. All agencies receive an annual spending allowance that is referred to as entitlement. Entitlement is not actual money, but is a funding source that may be used to purchase USDA foods or Department of Defense produce. If entitlement is used wisely, USDA foods can make up approximately 15 to 20% of an agency's food purchases. This can amount to a huge savings in a school's cafeteria fund. Entitlement is fairly distributed to each agency based on the total number of lunches served from July to June of the prior year. An agency's individual entitlement is calculated by multiplying their total lunches served by the meal rate established annually by the USDA. The meal rate for the 2015-16 school year was published in the Federal Register in July as 23 3/4 cents and is based on the Consumer Price Index for food. Federal regulations require that the FDP entitlement be comprised of at least 12% of the total National School Lunch Program funding. And in the 2015-16 school year, this provision increased the meal rate to 31 1/4 cents. Agencies will often ask, what is the difference between entitlement USDA food orders versus bonus orders? The fair market value for entitlement USDA foods draws down on an agency's entitlement, whereas bonus USDA foods do not. In other words, bonus USDA foods are free entitlement. Please note that there is a shipping and handling fee applied to each case that is delivered to an agency, regardless if the USDA food is entitlement or bonus. This is an additional cost that is paid by the agency. In addition to brown box, agencies may choose to use a portion of their entitlement dollars to purchase fresh fruit and vegetables through the DoD program. Further into the webinar, we will review how to request DoD items. As previously mentioned, shipping and handling fees are applied per case. There are 3 ways to request USDA foods from the state distribution centers using CNIPS. Our state co-op agencies have the option to store their USDA foods in extended storage at the state distribution center. In the column highlighted in green are the units available to order as needed. The column highlighted in yellow are the available units that are being offered to allocation agencies. Allocations are offered 5 times a year through CNIPS. Allocation orders are USDA foods that are fair shared based on available inventory, available entitlement, and an agency's TLS. Agencies may order up to the allocated amount indicated in the available current allocation column. The column highlighted in orange is the additional units column. Agencies are given the option to request additional units during an allocation. These additional unit requests will be fulfilled based on availability and cannot be guaranteed. Please note that agencies use their remaining entitlement for these additional units. Now let's go through the steps of how to place an allocation order in the CNIPS. The first step is to log into the CNIPS. enter your user ID and password to log on. After logging into CNIPS, you will be directed to the CNIPS program's main page. To access the order forms, select the yellow Food Distribution tile in the lower right-hand corner. This will navigate you to the Food Distribution Program Welcome page. Here you will find important notifications pertaining to the Food Distribution Program, such as Management Bulletin notifications, CNIP contract update requirements, as well as how-to training videos. From this screen, you will select the agency's link on the blue ribbon located at the top of the screen to take you to the agency's main menu page. From the agency's menu, you will select the Orders link from the left-hand side of the menu. Next, from the Orders menu, you will select the Open Orders link from the left-hand side of the menu. The program year will display for the current school year. If you are placing an order for the upcoming school year, you will need to change the program year by selecting 2016-17 from the Program Year drop-down menu. Once you have the correct program year, you will need to verify that the S&P option is selected from the Program drop-down menu. After you select the appropriate order search criteria, select the Continue button as shown by the green arrow. This will take you to the Open Orders S&P page. Select the New Order button to place a new allocation order. This is also where you can review and edit orders that are still open, which we will review later in the presentation. Select the appropriate delivery location for this allocation in the Delivery Location drop-down box. The warehouse will default to the State Distribution Center that you receive your USDA food orders from. Next, select Allocation Order from the Order Type drop-down box. Select Continue to proceed to the Allocation Order screen. This slide is an example of an allocation order form and the delivery information section, which is located at the top. Here you will verify your agency's delivery location or select the drop-down box to choose a different delivery location. Please verify that the address showing for the delivery location is correct. If it is not, please contact the distribution center immediately for assistance. In the second column, the delivery period will default to the most recent delivery period available. Agencies that are eligible to receive more than one delivery per allocation may request a different delivery period from the drop-down menu. Agencies have the option to pick up an allocation order from the distribution center by selecting Will Call from the Delivery Type drop-down menu. Will Call orders receive a 15% discount per case. The Order section of the form will display bonus items first, then DoD fresh fruits and vegetables, and finally with Entitlement USDA foods available through your current allocation. The available current allocation column, highlighted in yellow, indicates the number of units offered to an agency during an open allocation. In the order quantity column, highlighted in red, you may request up to the number of available units indicated in the available current allocation column. If an agency cannot use or does not order the total number of units offered on an allocation, the agency's entitlement will not be charged and will be available to purchase USDA foods on the forthcoming allocations. To request more than your available current allocation, you may request the number of additional units in the Additional Units column highlighted in blue. Additional units requested will be fulfilled based on availability and cannot be guaranteed. Additional units requested will be processed immediately after the ordering period for the allocation that has closed. Once you have completed placing your additional units request, you may calculate the entitlement spent on the additional units by selecting Calculate Entitlement. The total entitlement spent for each additional unit will populate in the Entitlement Use section circled in red. When requesting additional units, you may not exceed your remaining entitlement balance. Denoting delivery restrictions is mandatory to place any type of order. The CNIPS will not let you continue if this information is not provided. If your agency does not have any delivery restrictions, you may select No. There are no delivery restrictions for this delivery period. However, please keep in mind failure to note delivery restrictions may result in a restocking fee for an attempted delivery that cannot be received. If you select Yes for delivery restrictions, use the Delivery Restrictions text box at the bottom of the CNIPS order form to indicate which dates your agency will be closed or cannot accept a delivery. We request that agencies have reasonable delivery restrictions and are flexible as each state distribution center coordinates delivery arrangements for a large amount of agencies. Once all delivery restriction information has been indicated, select Continue. This slide outlines important delivery information to consider when arranging your USDA food delivery. Deliveries are not made on weekends or state-observed holidays. An agency should call this distribution center directly to note general delivery restrictions or instructions that will always apply, such as if a gate code is needed for an entry to a delivery site. Another important item is if an agency rejects a shipment due to storage issues or if there is no one available to receive it, the agency is responsible for payment of the shipping and handling charges associated with the undelivered load. USDA food deliveries must be accepted between 5 a.m. and 3 p.m. Now that you have completed your allocation order, additional units request, and specified your delivery restrictions, your allocation order is ready to be submitted. Select the red Submit Order tab to receive your confirmation. The order was submitted successfully message will display. Now select the Finish button to return to the Open Orders screen, and your allocation order is complete. I am now going to pass the webinar to Desiree Lee, who will continue with the demonstration.
Thanks, Marina. Hello, I am Desiree Lee, and I'm going to continue beginning with the extended storage portion of the webinar. Now that we have learned how to navigate to the order form menu, you can also choose to request available USDA foods that you have placed in extended storage. As previously mentioned, state co-op agencies have the option to store their USDA foods in extended storage at the state distribution center. This service is offered when agencies do not have ample storage space at their district and cannot accept the total cases ordered on their allocation. The state co-op agencies can store the remaining cases of USDA foods at our state distribution center until the agencies request the cases to be delivered. With that being said, we will now demonstrate how to request inventory from extended storage. Your extended storage inventory will show in the Available Extended Storage column highlighted in green. You may request the number of units to be delivered from extended storage in the Order Quantity column as shown highlighted in red. You have the option to request all or just a portion of your extended storage inventory to be delivered with your next allocation order delivery. Good news is that your agency will not be charged entitlement since it was previously charged when the units were placed during the allocation order process. Once you have indicated the number of cases you would like delivered from extended storage, remember to indicate any delivery restrictions. Select Continue to review your extended storage order. Verify that all information is correct, then select Submit Order. As previously mentioned, once you have completed the extended storage request, you will receive a confirmation. Once you have navigated to the Order Form menu, you can also choose to modify an allocation. Orders can be modified to add, remove, or adjust the quantities of requested USDA foods as long as the ordering period is open. To modify an order, select the Modify link under the Allocation Order column. This screen displays the initial allocation order with the number of cases for each USDA Foods item placed by your agency. The column highlighted in green is where you can make an order modification and/or make changes in the delivery restriction text box. Once you have finished modifying your order, you can select Continue. Please contact the Distribution Center Customer Service Office if you need to modify an order after the ordering period has closed. Select Continue once all information is provided. Confirm that your order modifications are correct and then select Submit Order. Remember, you will receive a confirmation after you have completed modifying your order. Agencies may often find that they need more USDA food items than what was offered on their allocation. When this happens, we encourage agencies to take advantage of ordering surplus USDA foods from our state distribution center. The surplus order is available to agencies on a first-come, first-served basis after placing your allocation order. Both entitlement and bonus USDA foods are offered through surplus orders and is indicated in each section on the order form. DoD items are not surplus. Therefore, DoD is not an option. Surplus USDA foods can be added to any open allocation order. To place a surplus order, select the new link as indicated by the green arrow under the surplus order heading in the Open Orders menu. This will navigate you to a list of all surplus USDA foods that are available at the State Distribution Center. The number of cases available in the surplus will be listed in the Available Surplus column highlighted in red. In the Surplus column highlighted in yellow, you may enter the number of cases you wish to order. The USDA food items will be added to your allocation. If there are no USDA food items that you would like to order in the available surplus, select Cancel at the bottom of the order form to return to the Open Orders screen. The entitlement amount will manually calculate based on the number of surplus units that you request. When requesting surplus items, you may not exceed your remaining entitlement balance. Please remember to indicate any delivery restrictions and select Continue. Once you have verified and you do not want to make any changes, select the Submit Order tab in red. Next, you will receive an order confirmation. Our State Distribution Center have excellent staff that are available to help. Here is our contact information for each State Distribution Center as well as hours of operation. We are required to remind you that this institution is an equal opportunity provider. We thank you for your time and hope you enjoyed today's presentation. This now concludes our webinar.